How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffle and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. So, one of you guys messaged me on Twitter, which I hopefully can see over here which one of you it was. I can just give the shout out to whoever sent it to me, but this was sent to me by one of you guys on Twitter asking me, yo, check this out, give us your thoughts, let us know what you feel, all that stuff, you know. What are your opinions on this gameplay that's shown here? Actually, I think you didn't even ask that. You just said, hey, there's new gameplay, check it out. And I thought, sure, let's check it out. Let me just go to my Twitter account because I'm on TweetDeck, which doesn't really let me see the things I want real quick. Here we go, let's go to Twitter, and here we go. Should be right here. But this was sent to me by one of you guys, and it's 33 minutes of gameplay, and I thought we'd just go through it, kind of skip through the stuff we don't really want to see, listen to some of the things they have to say here, because they do say some important things that I haven't really thought about, and I noticed it as just watching like 2 minutes in. I noticed like something they mentioned, I was like, oh, I didn't really think about that. So, this was sent to me by at Christ876433347. His Twitter name is gaming. So thank you so much for sending me the video. He simply just said check this video, and yeah, we're gonna do that right now, guys. So let's take a look at this actual gameplay here. But we're gonna skip through a little bit here and there because it is like just introductions and stuff. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move my face cam into the corner where they are. For the sake of copyright, let's just avoid any potential. This is a Nintendo video, okay? You know they're going to try to copyright me. We're going to keep it here. You see the gameplay, and you can hear them, so you should be fine. Let's just continue. So, we've been seeing so much gameplay of specifically Veridian Forest at this point. I feel like I just know it inside out, the actual gameplay. And I already know the inside out of Veridian Forest. I think all of us know it in the inside of Veridian Forest at this point. But they do mention something interesting here in regards to when you catch a Pokemon and kind of the thing that pops up afterwards. So, let's take a look at this.
I've been playing the Pokemon games since they first came out.
Literally.
So seeing this in glorious HD is just
amazing.
Just a nostalgia trip.
See, okay, so we've had a lot of conversations about, like, specifically the graphics in this game, and I had a video yesterday talking about what I hope the Gen 8 graphics is going to be like. Now, fundamentally, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee don't really have bad graphics. I've never really said that. I've always said, like, the graphics aren't what people expected, but I'm kind of fine with it. Like, I'm fine with what these look like, but if we get the same sort of graphics for Gen 8, that's where I would be annoyed, because, you know, you have the Switch now. Utilize the Switch to its fullest extent. Do the best you can, rather than the easiest thing you can do, and the quickest to make. Just make something as good as possible, and, you know, if you want us to wait for, you know, whatever amount of years or whatever amount of time, just let us wait to get a better product. Pokemon has been churning out games so fast, and they've always been kind of evolving, but they've always also been behind in time. You know, they've been kind of like falling behind, while other games were moving over to better graphics and interesting visuals and, you know, new concepts and stuff. Pokemon stayed behind and kind of like, you know, used old school, you know, kind of graphics that weren't up to par, or, you know, kind of stuck with those graphics for a long time, you know, through Gen 6 all the way and up till Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, because they do kind of have the similar graphics to X and Y and Sun and Moon, more X and Y, so to say, like the chibi style of Oras as well, that they kind of are going for the kind of chibi characters, so to say, but, like, of course, better looking because they are on a better device. And of course, you know, they're gonna look visually better with all the shadows and stuff, which, by the way, the shadows in this game, this looks amazing. Right here you can see the shadow that is as like it's dropping down, and how, like, you know, you see kind of like the few areas where the trees can hold in the light that comes in. It looks beautiful. Like, genuinely, I love that. I've always loved that in even like fan games and stuff, ROM hacks. As somebody who's watched me maybe for a long time, you know how big of a fan I am on those sort of things. So for me, seeing this, I'm just like, you know, that looks nice. But let's continue here. So they're gonna walk up and try to catch a. You can see a Pikachu up there, just roaming around. Of course, as you can find them in Veridian Forest.
Feel like you're part of this world, and I particularly love how Oddish hides so well in the tall grass now.
I do typically mistake Oddish's hair or hair grass. Or
I'm not sure either, but that plume
antennae. I'm not.
And this is something they've talked about, actually. They've actually talked about specifically that in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, each Pokemon will act on its own, you know, way. So, if, for example, if you see an Abra, right, to catch that Abra, you have to go from behind it. You actually have to take it from behind. That just sounds wrong, doesn't it? But you have to take it from behind. Otherwise, it's going to teleport away if it spots you. If it spots you, it teleports away and it's gone. So you have to actually take it, you know, from the back. God, that also sounds wrong. And that's the only way to catch it. Or, for example, maybe Growlithe. You know, it's a bit more aggressive. It's going to run around. It's going to be a bit harder to take on. Or it's going to be more agile against you. Or certain Pokemon might run away from you. Or certain Pokemon have specific walk patterns. Basically, I like that. I've never had anything against it. I think a lot of people don't really have much against it. This is why I hated an argument that was made by some other people, attacking people for essentially, you know, not being excited about this, you know, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. But nobody ever complained about Pokemon in the overworld. I think most of us are okay with it. Of course, it does defeat the purpose of, like, you know, wild encounters and stuff, and kind of the mystery of finding a Pokemon, which I guess is totally fine for me. Personally, I don't give a shit if they're gone from the wild Pokemon as you find them in the grass. If they're gone, I'm fine with it. If I can see Pokemon in the overworld, I'm A-okay with it. I do not mind. I am, you know, very nice. My name is Bharat. I'm very okay with it. But, of course, the issue there was, though, that we didn't get to battle those Pokemon that we encounter in the overworld. That's where the problem came in. But at least, you know, they did something unique with the Pokemon, considering that, like, a lot of the stuff in Let's Go is just reused assets. At least they were able to use those assets properly and at least make a game out of it somewhat. Am I still not happy about Let's Go being, you know, charged for more? They're charging a lot more money for it, and, you know, that sort of stuff. Sure, yeah, definitely, but, you know, it is what it is. Either way, let's continue.
It's something.
Yes.
So they're gonna catch it, which is a level 3 Oddish with 9 CP.
Throws the Pokeball, and so
One thing he does is turn his baseball cap round, but...
oh, I'm baseball capless.
Get it. Okay.
And since you have 99, okay, he's got 999.
Oh, good stuff.
It's a great catch. Now, I do wonder if these great catches, whatever, etc. they may be, do they change the Pokemon? Well, actually, we'll see here, I think, because it was level 3 with 9 CP, I think, right? I think that's what the Pokemon was. So, you get experience points, or does it get experience points? So, bonus multiplier 2.4, successful catch.
Wow.
Okay, so this is true, right? This is not something I knew, but they use the old school cries of the Pokemon. You can also see that they use the old school 8-bit like drawings or sprites, sorry, of the Pokemon when you have them in your menu. Which I'm gonna be honest, right? It could be like, oh, that's cool, that's nostalgic. Or it could just be them being like, you know what? We could also just not make new assets and just reuse these, because people think like, oh, it's nostalgic, you know what I mean? I mean, to be fair, though, it's no problem. Who cares? It's just some sprites. I'm okay with it 100%. But you know what I mean? It's like, hey, you know, Game Freak seems to know how to reuse assets quite properly this time around, which is totally fine. It's okay. It's understandable. I have nothing against them doing that. But of course, you know, let's continue here.
The Game Boy, so it's quite and he throws the Pokeball. So we wanted to recreate this feeling.
And he was got some
There you go. This is my problem, okay? See, I have nothing against EXP share and stuff. Like, I've had it in previous games and I thought it was okay, but, like, there is a point where it gets, like, way too ridiculously easy to use it. Especially in a game like this where there is no challenge versus the Pokemon you're catching. I mean, in reality, you know, look at the amount of XP they're all gaining. You could, technically speaking, stay in Veridian Forest for a little bit of time, and you can just, like ridiculously boost the levels of all your Pokemon, and you can just sweep through, like, you know, just destroy Brock's gym. Like, it's not even going to be close to a challenge, which is what gyms are meant to be. Now, I've seen people argue, like, people are like, oh, well, I was an alpha champ when I was a kid. I knew what I was doing. I was an alpha Chad. I destroyed everything because I was so good at the game. Okay, nobody gives a shit about you being an alpha. Who fucking cares? Nobody gives a shit about that. The point is that in the past, when we were younger, it was kind of harder for us. Of course, over time, we learned, we understood it, and that's why the games got easier and easier, because we knew more and more about the games. That's a fundamental flaw of the, you know, just the Pokemon franchise, that, you know, you can't really change that. They got to keep the difficulty around the same level. But I personally feel, and I think most people feel, that in the past, the games at least posed somewhat more of a challenge. And the problem is, that it's not even that they were hard. Nobody's ever kind of stated that they're full-on hard games in the past. No, what people are trying to say is, they're just way too handholdy, and they're ridiculously easy at this point. Like, it's like you feel like there is no, like, it's just one of those mobile games where you don't feel there's any actual challenge in the gameplay. It's just like, tap, right? It's just tap. That's all it is. Just tap. And the same thing is what, like, I think a lot of people feel about this game now, is that it feels way too much like, you know, that's it. You know what I mean? There isn't much else to that. There's no thinking. It's just like, you know, brain dead throwing. That's where I think a lot of people have an issue. And EXP share just doesn't really add much good to it.
Also from capturing now, as well as from battling other trainers. But you can see here, I think you recognize these sprites, right?
The sprites again. You know, the HD visuals were like, this is how I thought it looked when I was a child. This is how it looked when I was younger.
Well, that wasn't really when you was young. You were younger. That was those sprites right there are from whatchamacallit, Fire Red Leaf Green, I think. Yeah, right. Like the sprites you see usually, like wouldn't those usually be like the Pokédex? So you wouldn't be really seeing these in the gameplay when you were playing. Those were larger. They weren't this small. But yeah. Either way, let's continue.
Yes.
Yeah. And then obviously
The Pokeball Plus control.
So of course we've seen this before, but this is like the cat. I guess the screen where you check like the information on the Pokemon, height, weight. It's typing and what it is, the weed Pokemon. Hey, smoke some dang kush, bro. You got its height and weight. So this is something that a lot of people don't remember, but I talked about this in the previous video, but I guess just people just don't remember this one. Oh, did I just do? Wow, that was weird. I was supposed to like do like something weird in my hand. Either way, it doesn't matter. But I remember, like I was talking in the last video I did, or previous video, that Cerebi specifically pointed out that Pokemon that you catch that say that they are larger, because you know how you have those auras. We've talked about the auras in this game, right? You have these auras that show up, and these auras tend to be like blue or red, right? And they, depending on which one it is, they can be larger or smaller Pokemon in size and weight and etc., right? And apparently, if you have a Pokemon that is larger, it won't show it when you're catching it, but you will see the height difference when you, I guess, inspect the Pokemon, or when you're in a battle with the Pokemon, you will actually see its larger size. And that's pretty cool, actually. I like that they would, because that adds a little bit more variety to the Pokemon and like a little bit more of an attachment. But at the same time, you can also just get so many Pokemon because all you do is catch. Like, the thing is, in Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, your main method of leveling and your main method of progression is catching Pokemon, right? It's constantly catching Pokemon. Less battling than anything else. Battling is going to be like playing second fiddle to just the catching method, right? That's going to be all you're going to do. So the problem with that fundamentally is that it's going to get boring after a while. And also, the other issue is that leads you down this path where you don't really get attached to your Pokemon as much, because like, hey, you know, if you see a bunch of Growlithes in an area, you're just gonna catch a bunch of Growlithes and keep the one with the best CP, and you're not giving a shit about the other ones, right? Of course, that doesn't mean everybody's gonna do like that, but the problem is, fundamentally, that is what's gonna end up happening. In the past, though, personally, I'd catch a Pokemon that I really like. For example, let's say Nidoran, right? I'd pick up a Nidoran early on, because it's a great Pokemon, you know, getting Nidoking, etc. It's perfect, right? But the problem is now is I'll have to catch several of them just to get, like, you know, that one that's like got the best of its stats and whatnot, and then, you know, just use that one or whatever. I mean, I don't even need to do that, let's be fair. I mean, I'm just talking hyperbole here. Doesn't mean that you have to do that, but, like, you know, you just be catching so many of them that, you know, I feel like it's going to be hard to get an attachment to the Pokemon the same way you did in the past. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm 100% wrong. I could be 100% wrong. But that's just how I feel, based, like, just base value. Because same thing with Pokemon Go. I don't care about any of these Pokemon I have in this game. Like, I do not care about them. I just genuinely don't. Like, they don't matter to me because they're just, like, I have so many of each one of them that it doesn't matter much. While in, like, you know, in one of my old games, I remember, like, I had a Feraligatr that I freaking loved. I was so attached to that Pokemon. I had, like, a Typhlosion as well from a different playthrough that was my brother's, but I played with it as well, so I love that thing. I remember catching my first Lugia. I was so attached to that thing. My Scizor, like, seriously, like, I had so many different Pokemon I cared for because, you know, either they were hard to, you know, get or level up or evolve, etc., whatever it may be, or they were just Pokemon that I had, you know, few of, and they were, you know, just fewer of them, so I had only one, and I was attached to that thing. Now you're going to be catching so many of the same Pokemon over and over and over. I feel like it's going to be harder and harder and harder to get an attachment to them. That's where I fundamentally see an issue there.
Really,
but then again,
weird.
I guess it's supposed to imitate what Pokemon Go is, and that's where I think also the big discrepancies with this game is that it's being Pokemon Go too much, and I feel like if it was aiming more to be a main series game rather than a Pokemon Go shill, let's be honest, like, this game is just like, hey, let's just make Pokemon Go on the console so we can just sell more copies, and so that we can bring in people who play Pokemon Go, which is understandable. It's a business decision. I get it, right? I'm not stupid. I understand it. I think a lot of people just, like, assume that Game Freak just hates us. No, Game Freak knows what way to make money, and they know this is a way to make money. Loads of that moolah. I mean, so much of it. But then again, at the end of the day, I think that's fine. They want to make money. Screw it. They're the biggest franchise in the world. Hey, whatever. Let's make a few more millions. It's fine. I get it. But I do want to say, though, that, like, you know, taking too much from Pokemon Go, you know, taking too much from this and from that can be a little bit detrimental. But I feel like this game, it can balance it out. I hope it balances it out, because I feel like the problem for me is I hope I don't get too bored too early on. That's my discrepancy, and that's my scare.
Also come out of
So we continue on here, and you can see right there, there's the blue aura right there shining around that. Is that a Weedle?
Yes, yes.
No.
You can
I think so.
Definitely. We go to instead a Pokemon trainer battle. And what you can see from the Pokemon trainer battles is that instead they remain the classic turn-based RPG. And we also see that here, if I choose my attacks, I use the Pokeball Plus stick to choose. I click on it.
I'm a bit confused. Why is that one? Okay, were those normal attacks then? I didn't see all of them. I just saw Growl and whatnot. Is that why they're like gray?
I feel the vibration of the Thunder Shock when I'm attacking, and I feel the attack of Caterpie on my Pokeball.
Okay, so you feel it on the actual. Why on the Pokeball Plus only though? Is it also on the Joy-Con?
On top of that, I even hear again the original 8-bit sounds of those attacks in the Pokeball. So you hear the new sounds.
God damn it, man! I'm not a big fan of the Pokeball Plus. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a big fan. They're charging a lot of money for it, and I'm not digging it. Also, I just noticed something with this background right here specifically. It's like super dark up top. Why couldn't they just have done something more behind there? Like I feel like, you know, with this game, I mean, okay, now I used to like kind of the backgrounds in some different areas, but I'm not liking the Veridian Forest one. The background right here, it's just, it looks very unpolished, if I'm gonna be frankly honest. Just the background. But then again, that's just a minimalistic thing. It's not the end of the world. It's just one area. I love the backgrounds for some of the other places in the game. But yeah, there you go. Caterpie can't hack it. Wow.
there in the red.
Let's see.
Yes.
So you can see right there, you got a blue and you got a red.
So actually, I'll show you because PG wanted me to show you.
It's tiny, okay.
We have blue auras that signify tiny version of a Pokemon, and red auras that signify a huge version of that Pokemon. It is another element that's been borrowed from Pokemon Go. There are different sizes, even of the same.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? They take so many aspects of Pokemon Go that can work real. Like, for example, right, the catching method here, that's nothing wrong with it. It would just be, I think, for most people, if you could just battle still. That's where they're like, you know, and that's where I think a lot of people are having an issue with these games. Like, you can't, like, you remove too many of the things that make the mainline games, and add in too many things that make Pokemon Go what Pokemon Go is, right? So if you could just have balanced it better, I think that's where people would have liked it. But right now, for people, it's just like, okay, it's just Kanto with a coat of Pokemon Go on it, right? That's all it is. It's just a half-assed Kanto with a paint of Pokemon Go on it. That's what a lot of people have an issue with. But then again, I've said a million times, that maybe isn't wrong. Like, maybe that's, you know, that's what they went for, so I guess that's fine. But yeah.
Let's say, or
an Ultra Ball on
a lot of work for that signifies a shiny Pokemon.
So he's gonna get some experience here.
Shiny Pokemon in the wild.
I mean, again, look at the amount of XP. I mean, they're gaining a lot of XP from this. Like, in all fairness, they are gaining a lot, and it's just like, that's where I'm worried, man. Like, I'm so worried about that specifically, man. That you're gonna be getting so much. I do wonder if you're gonna be able to turn that off or something. But like, damn, you're getting a lot of XP. Like a lot.
Actually, forever. And of course.
So blue is tiny, red is big.
Also because I want to show you the difference I was just telling you about. Now this is a standard, let's say, Pikachu, and he looks different than
Good stuff.
of course. Still cute, very, very cute.
Okay.
But not as cute as my partner Pokemon.
Like a Thunderstone right for him right now.
surfing.
So yeah, they can have different sizes and stuff, and I suppose it's going to be visible once you inspect the Pokemon or in battle, like I mentioned earlier.
Also when you're in a just already in the overworld, you see that that's a female Pikachu, for example, right there.
I like that it's just having a stroll.
Just
Yes.
sitting on the pathway.
And also something else we notice, I maybe spoiled it a little, is that now we see Pikachu's tail waggling, right? So that's a new feature. It's called dowsing. Sorry, and this means that there's an item nearby. Pikachu's tail.
Yeah, we
or
saw it.
Eevee's tail
Is it Antidote though, or is it a different item? Because I know Antidote's supposed to be a bit further down. I'm not sure. I don't think it's. Is it Antidote? It could be Antidote, but I know it's supposed to be an Antidote further down.
The item that
Yeah, it's an Antidote. But why did they move it up though? Is it usually supposed to be where that Pikachu was, but like slightly to the left and a little bit down? That's where it's supposed to be, the Antidote Pokeball, but I guess whatever. Maybe there's another one. I mean, maybe I've just forgotten, because I usually never go like that way around. I usually go like straight through the grass to the left. So yeah.
you see here how difficult it is sometimes to see a Pokemon in the tall grass, like that Caterpie on the right hand side, it's quite well hidden. And I love the fact that you know, the tall grass was the place where we had the random encounters before, and it has been changed, but it still plays an important role.
Okay, with those
So I'm going to evolve him to Beedrill before you, mate.
go away.
And now they got a battle, which
The
is
best
looking
move I have right now.
fine. Again, Pikachu's going to be so freaking strong in this, man. So freaking strong.
The end of it,
I swear to God, Pikachu's gonna be so broken when you actually like play with it. It's going to be ridiculous. But yeah, general Veridian Forest gameplay, and now they have actually entered the next route.
being Rattatas.
You got Rattatas just running out. So many of them.
Whoa, they're
of
chasing
course.
you.
They're aggressive, actually. Wow.
Hi, hi.
That's interesting. So that I like right there. Look at that, right? They all just ran out of the grass. All those Rattatas just ran out of the grass, and they're aggressive. And that's what they're kind of supposed to be, I guess. Like, you know, they are in a group, so like they will be more aggressive as a group.
Are being Rattatas. I have.
That is a pincer
Whoa, they're
movement.
all.
Look at this.
Whoa, they're
of
chasing
course.
you. Hello, hi.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, for now, I will just run away because I want to talk about something else.
God, I
You've
wish
seen
it said I can't escape.
I mean, obviously, Pokemon
Okay.
can run away
They were a bit
from
aggressive, but they left him after a while.
can, if
They
you
do run around a lot. Look at them.
For a while, they
I like that. I like that they're active, right? That makes it more fun. Because the problem with Pokemon Go as well is like, you know, they're stationary and there's really much of a gameplay. It's like you're playing essentially Google Maps with Pokemon on it, right? With this, at least, like, there is a little bit more of you know, there's more interaction, and that's what I like about this. Again, there are a few issues, there are hiccups, and the fact that, like, you know, I would have loved that this was more like, you know, these features that are nice, that we like, were to be implemented better into, you know, future games, like, you know, properly implemented alongside wild battles and, you know, other stuff that we like. So, yeah.
It's something that he really likes.
Sometimes just stares at you.
And now he's riding Onyx, of course, which we have seen in the past. I'm really screwed. It's so weird to me that you can't like actually, you know, mount the legendaries like Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres. Now I guess Moltres would like
Pokemon in the top
burn
right.
you, I guess, and Zapdos would, I guess, stun you. I mean, no, that wouldn't even make any sense because Arcanine and Rapidash would also burn you if that, you know, if you go into that logic. So I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit odd that some Pokemon, you know, that I feel like should be mountable and, you know, used as mounts just don't work, but it's fine. So here we go. We got the rival. You can battle against the gym there. You've got to get stronger. You've definitely got to try to take him on. That's the problem, right? That's something I hate about like current like just specifically current rivals is that they are just way too friendly, man. And it's like, at least this guy, like, they said, like, he was kind of, like, sketchy in the start when we first saw some trailers of him. But, like, it feels like, no, it's just going to be another one of those How-type characters, which, by the way, it's fine if you like How, whatever his name is. You know, it's okay. But I'm so tired of those friendly rivals. They're not as fun. The reason why I love, like, Silver and, like, you know, Gary or Blue, whatever you want to call them, you know, is because they were actually, like, interesting characters, right? They evolved over the course of gameplay. Now, we did have also, I guess, like in Gen 5, we had interesting, you know, side characters and whatnot. Gen 4, kind of an iffy one, but like, I guess it worked. Gen 3, not so interesting rival, but I guess it was the first time they kind of did more of a friendly rival alongside you, you know, a bit more. But like, think of Silver, right? He starts out like a literal thief, right? A thug. And then he evolves over time, and you notice, like, how he evolves as a character, and eventually he realizes that maybe, hey, you know, instead of beating my Pokemon and being a dick to them, maybe I should be a nice guy. Maybe I should try to actually, like, connect with my Pokemon and try to be nice to them, and maybe they will, you know, that's through the power of friendship, will get stronger, right? But, like, you know, he learns over time, he evolves, right? Blue, Gary, etc., whatever you want to call him, right, is a dickhead to you, but that also motivates you, right? He's being a douchebag. You know, he has a grudge against you because, you know, your childhood, like, you know, acquaintances, I guess, or friends, and, you know, he always wants to be better than you, so he's always gonna, you know, it pushes you to do better. You know, like, oh, it's you, scumbag? Well, guess what? I beat you, like, a few gyms back, so you know what? I'm gonna take you down again. You know what I mean? It motivates you to keep, like, pushing forward and try to defeat him, and eventually when you meet him, you know what I mean, like, oh, you know, it's the final battle, it's the final showdown. You know, you're so excited to finally beat him. It's this like constant pushing like forward of you. Like, you know, it's a douchebag guy, but he pushes you to do better. The same way in like a lot of animes, you know, the rival is always the one to push the main character forward, and that's what's, you know, happening in this game. We are the main character, and they are pushing us forward. This rival is pushing us forward by being a douchebag. And that's what I like. With the more recent games, especially X and Y, had awful rivals, like just non-existent, essentially. Sun and Moon also it's just really shitty. I'm gonna be honest. I'm sorry. I just did not like him. I don't know. I'm kind of tired now because we've had a few of those, like too many of those, like really, really like, oh, I'm super friendly, I'm nice, etc. Right? We're good friends, you know. Let's just, you know, let's do well together. Woo! It's been kind of getting boring. We've had it for almost 5 years now. It's just getting a little bit lame. So you know what I mean? Maybe take a little bit of twist on it would be nice. If this character like both is like, you know, trying to be supportive, but at the same time being like, you know what, but I'm still better than you, that would be cool. But based on what we've seen so far, I don't know. I'm not really seeing that right now. So let's see what he says right here.
Friendly kind of rival. He likes to interact with my partner. Like, in fact, he's talking to Pikachu now. And sometimes...
No, he's friendly. No depth in this character. Oh boy.
Pokeball for now, he just
I'll take a Pokemon for a few seconds. Yeah, it's just going to heal you up. We've already seen that. And I think inside the Pokemon Center, you do have like a... I don't know. There's a picture of like a Pokemon right there. And also you have the Pokemon map over there, which we have seen before, of all the whole of Kanto, which, you know, it just shows everything of Kanto. We've already seen most of it, so there's nothing crazy to there. You got Slowpoke.
So she
Good question.
wants...
Do me a favor. Sure.
Make her a favor? Yeah? Should I say yes? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
So she wants to go to the Pewter Museum, which, as we know, is quite interesting. But
Oh, so you do a mission and just take care of it?
Not making you
it's...
sitting you.
So you did a mission, and she gave you a big pearl. See, I thought when I first saw that she was going to give it to you, but no, she just gives you a big pearl. So you have little, like, side quests and stuff, which is nice. I like that. Of course, that was a little bit of a boring one. You're literally standing and watching a Slowpoke, which is okay. But yeah, so you got the first gym, which is, you're the challenge gym, aren't you? And you have to have the requirements, which we have seen in the past. And yeah, you see right here.
You see that there is a CP value on the top right corner.
CP, of course.
To point out the
HP attack, defense, speed, special defense, special attack, still there. And Geodude, you're up against, which apparently you do a lot of damage with Pikachu there as well. Apparently, I don't know. I skipped through it a little bit, so you know, can't really tell. But yeah, I think that is most of it. And you're now into Pokemon. Wait, how did they enter the Go Hub?
Console, please.
Can we get the holding screen up on the big screen, guys?
We can just go to the other console.
We can just go down.
Okay, so this is you can't actually get this until you get down to Fuchsia City, right? You can't actually send Pokemon from Pokemon Go over until you get to Fuchsia City.
Let's switch over.
So that's interesting.
There he is.
Oh, wow.
You've got Gyarados.
There we
You've
go.
got
Oh my goodness.
yeah, man. I mean, look at Snorlax, dog. Look at Snorlax. Look at Gengar. Damn.
In fact, I have like.
Love how Gengar's just kind of strolling through, man. Just like 0 F's given, dude. But yeah, so you can catch the Pokemon. Of course, we've already seen this. It's old stuff. And yeah, I think that's just most of it, guys. I'm sorry for taking this so long. It is a long video, and I just want to kind of give my sub-commentary on, like, past things we've seen. A little bit of a breakdown. Instead of just making, like, another video, like, a million videos of me talking about, like, oh, you know, this is what, like, this and this thing is. You know, just do one video with some thoughts and stuff. So yeah, that's just some general gameplay we've already seen. I think I already pointed that out at the start of the video. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. My name is Rudolph Realit. Have a showcase. No, have a great day. I'll see you all the next time. Bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.